seeing their place of work being damaged because of, well, and we don't know yet.
We don't know. We don't know what incited these businesses to be set fire. We possibly, the BP at Sherman and Burleigh was a direct correlation to what happened earlier 2 blocks away at 44th and Hour, but we are making an assumption on that. Then with this second business, which isn't too far, we don't know if it was started by someone demonstrating or whether or not it was accidental.
But we do know, at least from the BMO Harris Bank, that the windows had been broken. We were watching it, 30 minutes ago. Nothing happened. We just thought that the windows had been broken, and then we see smoke coming from that particular building. So we're hoping.
What I don't mean to interrupt you, but what is so disturbing is that the vandals are so brazen that they would destroy a bank just a block away from the 7th District Police Station. Again, what you're looking at this hour, just on the 11:59, breaking news. We are talking about the violence that is erupting in our city right now on the northwest side of Milwaukee. This all comes after a shooting earlier this afternoon at 3:30, where an officer shot a suspect who they say was armed with a weapon. That weapon, they are telling us at this point in hour, was a weapon that was stolen from a Waukesha home earlier in the year.
I noticed that the mayor has approached for a news conference. We're going to join Mayor Barrett right now to give us an update on what's happening in our city right now.
We also see that
Chief Harpole is
there.
4 o'clock this afternoon, I was contacted by the Milwaukee Police regarding an officer-involved shooting. I traveled to the scene at 44th and Hour, talked to the command staff there, and here's what we know about the shooting. Police spotted a suspicious vehicle, and they stopped the vehicle. As they stopped the vehicle, 2 individuals fled from the vehicle. One started heading west, the second one started heading east. A Milwaukee police officer with 6 years experience started chasing the individual who was running to the east. He ordered that individual to drop his gun. The individual did not drop his gun, held the gun, or I shouldn't say, I don't know that for a fact, but had the gun with him, and the officer fired several times. The individual was hit in the chest and hit in the arm. He was hit by 2 bullets, one in the chest, one in the arm. That individual, who's a 23-year-old man, has died. The officer was wearing a body camera. It is my understanding that the body camera was operating. Because it involved the Milwaukee Police and because an individual was killed, the investigation is being led by the state of Wisconsin. So the state of Wisconsin will be the one that will have access to that film from the body camera and is the one that is now undergoing the investigation. As you all know from what happened from that point, things deteriorated. When I left the scene, which was probably a little after 5 o'clock, there was still calm at that scene. Later in the evening, as we all now know, things got out of hand. We know that there were individuals using Facebook and other social media devices, or whatever you want to call them, that let individuals know that they should congregate in this area. The crowd grew. When the police exited the area where they had it blockaded, essentially at Sherman Boulevard and Hour, a group of individuals started going west on Hour, turned right on 44th Street, and at that point destroyed an automobile. That police automobile was destroyed. There was another automobile on Sherman Boulevard that was destroyed. 2 police vehicles also had their windows broken out. There was an individual, a police command staff in one of those individuals. He was not injured. There was, however, a police officer who was injured when a windshield was broken, presumably in the second car. I don't know that for sure. That officer is now in the hospital. I believe that officer has a head injury. I don't know how serious that injury is. As you all saw, the crowd then went over to the gas station and set the gas station afire. I don't know how many individuals were involved in that. Of course, that's going to be part of the investigation as well. Just on the elevator coming down from upstairs, I was told that the firefighters are now on that scene. As you all know, the firefighters did not go immediately to the gas station because gunshots throughout this entire period were being fired in this area. And it's the practice, which I fully support, for the firefighters that they are not going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to be victims of gunfire. The police, I think also, as you saw tonight on the news, have shown an amazing amount of restraint. 3 arrests is the last figure that I saw that were made. What happened was, and there'll be a question as to what police activity was, there was concern about police officer safety as well. And I am also very, very, very concerned about police officer safety. What the police officers did is that they regrouped, they got some vehicles that would make it much safer for them to go. My understanding is one from the police department, one from the sheriff's department, one from Waukesha County, the Bearcats, that allowed the police then to move forward to try to restore order. That has been happening. Again, I think there are still pockets of individuals that are moving around. Subsequent to that, as you probably have seen, there were fires that were set, we believe, on 35th and Burlock. The O'Reilly Auto Repair Shop, Auto Parts Shop, a beauty salon, the BMO Harris branch there. There are fires at those 3 locations. A couple things that I want to add. The reason the police chief is not here is because his mother-in-law was buried today. She passed away. He is in Dallas with his family for that. The second thing that I think people should know, if you're a mother who is watching this right now, and your young son or daughter is not home, and you think they're in this area, get them home right now. Get them home right now. This is a serious situation, and this is a neighborhood that has unfortunately been affected by violence in the recent past. I know this neighborhood very, very well, and there are a lot of really, really good people who live in this area, in the Sherman Park area, who can't stand, just like any of us, can't stand this violence. And they want to have order restored. Our police officers are doing everything they can right now to restore order. We have lots and lots of police officers there. The firefighters now, again, they are fighting the fire. As I said earlier, it was set at O'Reilly Auto Parts, and just within the last few minutes, they have entered the scene at the BP on Burleigh and Sherman, and they feel it is now safe to work on that fire. There were 3 individuals who were in that gas station. All 3 of those individuals were able to get out of the gas station safely before it went up in flames. But this is a situation where we are asking every resident of this community to do everything they can to help us restore order. And that means, again, and this is pointed directly at parents of young people, because you can see from the video there are a lot of young people who are congregating here. If you love your son, if you love your daughter, text them, call them, pull them by the ears, and get them home. Get them home right now before more damage is done. Because we do not want to see any more loss of life. We don't want to see any more injuries. And we're going to stay on this. Our police presence is going to be very strong. We're going to work with the community, and tomorrow we'll be meeting again with church leaders and community leaders because we're going to make an all-out effort to do everything we can to restore order. And this is something that is important to me as mayor. It's important to the city. And I want you to know that this is something that we're going to continue to work on very, very hard. We're joined by several aldermen, including the President of the Common Council, Ashante Hamilton. I'm going to ask him to say a few words. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.